go racing here. The Jack Daniels entry to the left of your screen. Will Shane Price make maximum advantage? He gets away very smartly. The two Commodores, he and D'Alberto, charge away. Jack Perkins, I don't know whether Denyer has perhaps struggled off the line there, but Jack Perkins is hustling. There's three wide in this pack here going into turn one. Denyer's on the outside.
And that's never going to work when you're one out, one wide there. We've got a car off the road.
Alajarjan has run off at turn one. Perhaps he saw the biffing and barging with Grant Denyer, and maybe that's why he's sent some trouble there.
And he needs to be careful coming back onto the track because you run right around that apex there. They're all giving him a bit of a wide berth there, but he's done the sensible thing. He's waited for the field to go by, and then he's rejoined the race.
Clayton Pine has made up a number of positions as well. He's one to watch. Here's Perkins. Smart skip entry of Matthew White and the sister entry of the Queenslander, Wayne Wakefield. Wakefield driving the 29 card. Denyer putting pressure on through Siberia here. Oh, and he's getting the hustle here. The hustle from Damien White, the former go-kart racer from Wollongong. He and Grant used to battle in V8 Utes. And it's on between them there. Hobson and Chris Pither, they're fighting away as well. Everybody on cold tyres, those Dunlop control tyres, working over Lukey Heights and into MG Corner. There's Aaron McGill, the Ducks Hot Water entry. We join Pither now, back down the gearbox. He's trying to fend off McGill, who's got his own. Look at the pressure being applied here from Sharp.
We have 35 cars in the field today. The racing is close, it's exciting, it's tight, and early laps, these guys are fighting very, very hard.
Replay at the start, we told you there was three of them fighting. Matthew White, Jack Perkins, and Grant Denyer. Look at the bashing going on there.
Just enough to push Grant Denyer a little bit wide, and Alajarjan there just running up to the back of Denyer. He's lifted and braked a little bit, and I think he's just not quite got that gap right and been forced off the road.
So your race leader is Shane Price from Tony D'Alberto. Excellent position for Andrew Thompson. He had a great round at Bathurst, Andrew Thompson. The Latitude Developments Falcon, someone's off there. I think that's Aaron McGill. And Alajarjan runs off again. He just needs to get it all together. Papendale, I think, has also ventured off the circuit there, Brad. So Chris just needs to pull it back a notch here.
He does. He's come back on the road just in front of Bruce Williams there, an old Oscar competitor that's having a bit of a run this weekend. But here we have Shane Price at the front.
Chris Pither, he's battling here with the United Oil entry. Brett Hobson, former go-kart racer. A relatively new addition to the championship. Hasn't contested every round of the series, but he's reasonably well positioned here. Shane Price, he is bolting, trying to make the break. Thompson doesn't want to lose sight of second place. There's Matthew White. Smart skip Falcon. His Grant Denyer is giving Damien White the hurry up here into the southern loop. White plays defensive. This Dick Johnson Racing Falcon has got some grunt, and he's through, or so it seems anyway. Michael Caruso in the background there. And that might be Nathan Pretty, I think, starting to move up the order.
It's turned into a fantastic dice. We've got 5 or 6 cars here all fighting for the same position, and there's plenty of good racing going on. A little bit of bump and grind, but there's no too much shoving off the road here.
Yet, exactly. Chris Pither's engineer, I think it was, talking to him, just telling him how many laps remain in this one.
And you can't believe
when you get a chance.
We listen to them talk. It doesn't sound that clear when you're in the car listening to them. You can't believe how bad the radios can be, even on a flat circuit, or relatively flat like Phillip Island.
How busy is this getting? Shannon O'Brien chasing Michael Caruso. Caruso on Pretty. Ahead of him, Damien White, Grant Denyer, and also in the mix here, I think that's Jeff Emery. In the second of the Smith Trucks entries, Marcus Liddell closing in as well. In the First Rock Home Loans Falcon. So it's a busy group. Here's Jack Perkins on board the Jack Daniels Racing Commodore. What a season this young bloke and Shane Price have enjoyed with Larry Perkins. Denyer trying to exercise the pass here on Wayne Wakefield.
Wow, those DJR cars, they're so strong in a straight line. He was capable of pulling almost past Wakefield, but he's not taking any prisoners, Wayne Wakefield. He's fighting very hard for that position. And now Denyer's run a little wider turn 2, allowing White to duck down the inside.
There's been some paint traded, hasn't there? And now Damien White, I guess, replays the move that Grant Denyer tried on him just a lap or so ago.
Denyer would be a bit angry with this. He looks like he's having having a little bit of trouble. He's just seen him run wide there in 3, and that would have forced him to lift off a little bit, and it's allowed Pretty to go up around the outside.
The Speed FX Falcon, the Cena Bathrooms entry of Michael Caruso. Great opening round of the championship for him on the streets of Adelaide, and he has one hand on the Privateers Cup at the moment. Chris Pither diving left and right. Alajarjan makes a mistake at turn 4. That's been good for Pither.
Wow, has it ever. These people are just really, really close. That's great racing when you can get past someone. Oh, Shannon O'Brien, very hairy moment there.
We switch back. This is a move for second position, Brad. So the Latitude Developments entry, the youngster from Queensland, Andrew Thompson, moves by Tony D'Alberto. Second place now.
Very talented young driver. Here's the move. What's that in the front of D'Alberto's car there? Looks like he's picked up a bit of foam. Oh, that wouldn't be helping the temperature.
That might be quite a telling replay, I think. So perhaps D'Alberto's struggling with a temperature issue. Grant Denyer and Damien White. Look at these two going at it.
There's something going on with Denyer's car. He's running wide everywhere. I can't quite tell you exactly what the problem is, but looks like he's having trouble getting the car to turn into the corner.
Oh, Shannon O'Brien, the fast turn 1 at Phillip Island. He runs off. That will be good for Jeff Emery. And that foam, that may become an issue for him as well. We return to the front of the field. Shane Price, former go-kart racer, son of Drew Price, who many in this V8 Supercar fraternity will know well, drove for Gibson Motorsport in one of the famous Nissan GTRs at Bathurst some years back, Brad.
Great driver, and Shane's doing a fantastic job. He'd be out the front there, hoping that the race would finish quickly, to tell you the truth. Just trying to keep nice and consistent. He'll be aware Thompson's coming at him, and he'll try and keep that gap flat so Thompson doesn't make too much ground towards him.
Back into the championship has been busy for those two guys, so Shannon O'Brien did pick up some debris.
And that would really be knocking around his temperatures. Not only that, it's in the brake duct, so the car is going to be overheating in the front brakes as well.
This has been an impressive debut from Matthew White. From Wollongong, he's assembled a team, has been working really hard in recent years in V8 Utes, has acquired this X4 Morris Commodore, and this is a great debut from that team. He moves by Wayne Wakefield now, who's had a tough exit from the Southern Loop, and Michael Caruso is looming. So's Nathan Pretty.
D'Alberto's still got the foam in the front of his car. I'm sure his temperature would be going up and up. As you can see, there's only about a third of it open there, so that could be a problem. He might just be limping to the line to try and make sure he gets some points.
Very hazy conditions here at Phillip Island as a result of the devastating bushfires in Victoria. And we know that a number of the bushfire fighters are massive V8 Supercar fans, so we say g'day to all those guys and thank you for your efforts. At the moment, Price is leading the way, and this will be terrific for his championship bid. He is going to really shave some points off the advantage that Macro carried into this round of the series. It's been a great year for Jack Perkins and Shane Price. They have shared some main game duties in the Enduros, and in recent times they've filled in a Sirame entry. Jack Perkins drove at Bahrain, and this weekend Shane Price has his hands full, not just in the development series, Brad, but in the main game as well.
He's got a very busy day. It's pretty hot out there, and I see him running up and down the pits, going from one car to the other. Thompson's working pretty hard. You can see that car moving around on the road. He's not just going, okay, I'll come second here. He's fighting pretty hard to try and get to Shane, and that's what racers do. So he's not giving him any slack whatsoever, and as you can see, Shane's driving as hard as he can too. He's got the back of that car skipping around. At this point, it's nice if you can just, keep it in the bank, but these two are being forced to press on.
Andrew is trying to break into the top 10 in the championship as well, but certainly his performance at Bathurst and this race here so far at Phillip Island, his efforts have not gone unnoticed in the paddock, and a lot of guys mentioning the name Andrew Thompson as a driver to watch in the future. Shane Price, where will he be in 2007? Some suggestion with the news emerging that Paul Dumbrell will move to the Super Cheap Auto team in 2007. Perhaps this guy could move up to the main game for Larry Perkins. He's done a superb job for the Jack Daniels outfit, and he will win race 1 in the Fujitsu Development Series at Phillip Island. Larry's team congratulate him. Great work by Andrew Thompson. He really worked very smart and fast to close him down at the end of that race there.
Very impressive job from a young guy. I was pretty happy with the way he drove that car.
Here's Tony D'Alberto. How much of a temperature issue was that for the Victorian? And Matthew White, a very solid 4th place finish in the Smart Skip entry. Jack Perkins across the line. as we wait and watch for Matthew White. There's Michael Caruso, Emery, and Adam Macro will now cross the line. So the title is well and truly alive, but Macro has definitely taken a slice out of Adam's advantage as a result of that. Macro finishes, as you can see, in 9th place ahead of Wayne Wakefield. What a drive by Damien White, 5th. That's a fantastic performance, but it's Shane Price, your race winner. Marcus Liddell finishes in 12th spot there, and not a bad effort from Mark McNally, 13th, just in front of Grant Denyer. But the most important thing are the championship points, and let's have a look at this. Shane Price, remember, there is 160 points available for the final race of the championship, so it's still game on. Youngsters, go-kart races, Shane Price versus Andrew Thompson, Larry Perkins versus Dick Johnson, a championship on the line, set to go. Good start by Jack Perkins off the 4th row, but it's his teammate Shane Price. In fact, Perkins may have struggled away. It looked as though he got too much wheel spin off the line, but Price has made a good start and will lead them down into turn 1. Thompson not afraid to be on the outside through turn 1, almost off into the dirt. Thompson hangs on to 2nd place. Here's Perkins now. Brad Jones with us in the commentary box once again, and I guess from Adam Macro's perspective, how do you play this, Brad?
Well, he's had a shocking start. We've got Shannon O'Brien just running off the road there from the back of the grid. He's got in a bit deep, but Macro's had a bit of a shocker at the start. He's dropped back further back than 17th. He's back around that position, so obviously a bit nervous. He's seeing cars run around the outside of him here, playing it as safe as he can, trying to stay out of trouble till it settles, and then he'll start to try and move forward.
95 was Matthew Hunt. Macro just trying to avoid an incident. You do not want to, at this stage of the game, at such a critical point of the championship, be tied up in an incident which could take you out of the game. So Mark McNally, Pither moves through. This is not Adam Macro. It's his teammate, Mark Howard. Someone spinning in the background, Colin Cedars. I think just trying to avoid Howard in front of him.
And when there's that many cars going all different directions, it's not always easy to make a clear decision. Great move by Thompson down the inside of Shane Price on cold tyres.
Really aggressive move. Andrew Thompson moves by at MG corner. Fred Hobson is chasing the First Rock Home Loans entry of Marcus Liddell, just in behind his teammate, Grant Denyer.
And Thompson skipped away to quite a lead there, considering they've only been through 2 corners. Cold tyres, he's really pressing on. Shane won't want him to skip away too much. He needs that win. If he's going to win the championship, the only way he can really be sure of doing his best job is win both races. So he'll be pressing on as hard as he can here.
What a debut for the Wollongong Performance Racing team. Damien White is in 4th place. It's an ex-Paul Morris Commodore. Someone's off at turn 1. Jeff Emery, is it? Or is it Nathan Pretty? I think it's Emery. He rejoins the circuit just ahead of Mark McNally. That can be so difficult, the re-entry there.
Oh, I always worry when I see a car go off at turn 1, because that entry to turn 2 is a very dangerous spot to come back on the inside there. You run around the inside of that corner, and sure, if you come onto the track, you need to be careful, but there's always going to be some sort of contact.
Jack Perkins fighting off Grant Denyer. As we take a look at Mark Papendale now, some oil issue there for Papendale, but already someone's off the road ahead of him. And that's what forced Papendale off. Good quick lap here from Andrew Thompson. As you picked it, Brad, on cold tyres, he's really having a good go.
He certainly is, and if he keeps his pace up, he's going to win this race in comfortable fashion.
Let's go to the pits.
He was very cautious, obviously, at the start, not to get caught up in that first lap. He's just really waiting for get everything settled down, and he's going to just try and pluck a few more spots. And we're taking a very safe approach to this race.
What position does he need to finish to win?
As we sit here now, he needs to finish in the top 18. If Shane Price moves up 1, we need to move up 1, so we're in our window.
Michael Caruso on course to be crowned a Privateers Cup champion, and that is for the highest placed driver in the development series. There's been a tag here. Wayne Wakefield's gone. Rejoins the circuit. Oh, Denyer rolls off the throttle, and wisely so.
And that looked very scary, didn't it? I'm not sure what happened back there with Wakefield. He just looked like he was a little bit wide, and that's enabled Pither to dive down the inside of Hobson and take another position.
Maybe Brett and Marcus Liddell were just concerned about what was unfolding in front of them. Hobson defends here. So good job by the former go-kart racer. Pither was a young emerging star, came across the ditch and drove in V8 Utes, and these days driving for the Kanga Loaders outfit in the Fujitsu Development Series. patient here, such a tricky part of the circuit. Generally one line for you blokes through there.
It is. I can see they're all just touching the curb on the inside. It's one of those tough corners where you run from one side of the road to the other. You ease off the throttle and then you flat through the rest of it. Very fast part of the circuit.
Lock up in front of Chris Pither, and that's Marcus Liddell fires off the circuit. And I think that's maybe just caught Chris Pither by surprise, and he's fired up at the same time. Hobson's gone off too. So is there something down at that point of the circuit? Some oil or fluid perhaps?
I think they're probably just all quite close, and when one goes in a little bit deep, you tend to break a bit off the car in front of you, and they've all gone off.
Point I was going to make prior to the break about Michael Caruso for the Speed FX team, the highest placed privateer in the development series that's not linked to a level 1 team in the main game can win the Privateers Cup. So Grant Denyer moves by Jack Perkins, and Caruso is in the box seat to win that crown. So that's a wonderful title for the youngster from Collaroy, who's also come up through go-karts and open wheelers. Grant trying to sneak down the inside on the entry to the final turn, and he's also looking to cement a top 10 finish in the championship, Grant Denyer. And when you consider that he missed, he hasn't been able to contest every round of the series, Brad, due to his work commitments, that's not a bad effort.
Very good effort, and he's not using all the road here. He's obviously got a little bit of speed spare. He's turning in late, and he's not going right to the exit, so he's all over Michael, and he's carrying a little bit more car speed, I think, over the general lap, so he'll be looking to get by here in a minute.
Had his first crack also at the Super Cheap Auto 1000 this year alongside Alex Davison, and the pair scored a top 10 finish, which was good for the Dick Johnson Racing team, because unfortunately Stephen Johnson went out relatively early in the game in the 17 Falcon. Denyer and Caruso side by side, turn 4, but Caruso will have the inside running towards Siberia. They trade paint. Caruso holds it.
Door-by-door racing. This is what racing room's all about, giving each other a bit of breathing space. Denyer's braked early, jump back on the inside, trying to accelerate past him in the run-up to
Lukey Heights there. Great onboard action as we switch between the two drivers. And he's now chasing down Nathan Pretty. So good car speed.
Very good car speed from Grant Denyer. He's got that thing going along. Andrew Thompson's teammate, who's leading the race at the moment, so you'd think those cars out of the DJR farm are pretty strong.
Here's Tony D'Alberto zeroing in, taking aim at Damien White. And Matthew White has managed to pull clear of this group.
Traditionally, when you're racing someone as close as these two are, you're not allowed to block, but just racing closely knocks a bit of pace out of each particular driver. And so if you see someone coming at the bloke behind you, you usually breathe a sigh of relief, because it gives you the ability to skip away a little bit, because you can keep right on your game and use your traditional lines and brake late. But when two cars are dicing, one's always going to be a little bit stronger than the other. And as we say that, Grant Denyer dives straight under Nathan Pretty and starts to pull away.
Here's the man, Adam Macro, won this round at Phillip Island at the same time last year, was untouchable for the opening two-thirds of the championship. Former Formula Ford champion, and looking at sealing the crown here. He's had a terrific year, hasn't he?
He has. He's had a stellar run, but in this race, he just wants to get a result. He wants no cars around him whatsoever. He's not where he wants to be. He would like there to be daylight behind him and probably daylight in front of him. Just wants to drive around, not have any contact, get the result he requires to win the championship. He's got cars behind him wanting to pass him, and he's got cars in front of him probably holding him up a little bit.
Adam has also driven for the Triple 8 Race Engineering outfit, not this year, but last year, and finished on the podium, you'll recall, at Bathurst with Stephen Ellery. This year he ran for the Fujitsu team and was probably a little surprised that Roland Dane didn't pick him up and run him again in the main game development or endurance series races, I should say, but he's certainly come back on Roland's radar and focused a bit more, I guess you could say, on his driving and certainly his fitness and things like that. Andrew Thompson sideways, but lining up for a race win.
Having a little bit of fun on the last lap. That's exuberance of youth you can see there. He'd be pretty happy with the position he's in and looking forward to another win.
Chris Pither wide for turn 4 here, but trying to take aim. Oh, Mark McNally, elbows out for McNally, Hobson through, and so's Jay Verdnick. Verdnick comes back. Pither on the inside for Siberia. So these guys, it's been a tremendous battle right the way to the finish in this group. 6 or 7 cars for the better part of the it's all closed up again on the run home. But here's Macro. You can forget Thompson. He is going to take the race win. Fantastic second half of the year, particularly the last 2 rounds. Andrew Thompson will win the round at Phillip Island, continuing his good form from Bathurst. So well done to the Dick Johnson Racing driver. Second place in the race for Shane Price and second in the championship as well. What a recovery from Grant Denyer. He's applying pressure here to Tony D'Alberto. What a fight to the finish. Almost a photo. D'Alberto will get there. Terrific fight, but all eyes are on the champion. And here he is. Adam Macro wins the 06 Fujitsu Series title. A deserved winner. The Howard Racing team are wrapped. He's done it. Finally, he says. Not an easy job, but he's won the championship. And hopefully that will put him on the radar for a main game drive when you look at Paul Dumbrell and many of the others who have emerged from this series that are nowadays, of course, driving in the main game. Thompson takes the race and the round. Price second. Matthew White rounds out the top 3. What an impressive performance. Denyer back to 6th. Brett Hobson inside the top 12, just ahead of Pither, as we take you to pit lane and the celebrations are starting already. Macro is the man at Phillip Island. Final point score. Macro takes it out from Price and Perkins. Michael Caruso, as we mentioned during our call, will clinch the Privateers Cup, so well done to the Speed FX team. Chris Pither finishes just outside the top 10. Denyer and Andrew Thompson with 2 round wins in a row finishes in the 10.